Sup everyone, Casual Talk here. This is a video request that was requested by the Bible chick, zo1, in regards to old friends that comes back into your life. I could relate to this because I've had old friends and people who I thought I were cool with, people that you thought that, I have a good relationship with this person and that person. We had a good childhood together. We did a lot of stuff together. You have to come to the term and the realization that seasons change and people can change. There's a song from, I think it's an old school group from the 80s, the 70s. I don't know what year this group came together, right? But it's basically an old 70s to 80s group. I don't know if they were in production in the 90s, right? Old school group. It's 3 white women. They're a trio. They made a song called People Change, Seasons Change. Okay? And it was one of my favorite songs. I'm going to have to admit that. I mean, I don't listen to secular music like I should anymore. Here and there, I do. And I'm still working on myself, okay, to be an overcomer. Now, back to the topic, and enough about me. When it comes down to friends, I've covered this topic in the past. Friends today can mean anything to anybody. Basically, I'm going to break it down. The way you think, how you see friends to be, somebody else may think differently. I have a lot of coworkers who would call me a friend, but we're not really friends. They will just use the term friend loosely, like, oh, we're friends, instead of just saying we're coworkers. In reality, we're coworkers. We're associates. We work together, and that's it. I'm only going to see you and spend the time around you at work. When it comes down to my me time is my me time, especially when I clock out and it's time for me to go home. I no longer see that person, okay? You're no longer obligated to see that person or be around that person. You're coworkers, okay? That's an example. Another person, acquaintance. You could see them as an acquaintance, but they see you as a friend. You have to set the boundaries with some people and just be straight up and real with them. Now, it could be a problem where it's a question mark, because there's just some people that are passive aggressive. They're hot and cold, and there's a lot of people out there that does not like to tell you the truth and tell you into your face on what the relationship is. Because I'm sure a lot of you has been in the position where you're questioning your friendship, you're questioning your relationship with that so-called friend, if you're even friends or acquaintances, or you're just buddies, or it's just that person that you just hang out with and that's it. Having a friend is like it's another form of a relationship. There's different types of relationships. There's marriages, there's boyfriend and girlfriend, acquaintances, work colleagues, associates, classmates, etc. Okay? If the feelings is mutual, where he's my friend and I'm his friend, or she's my friend, I'm her friend, then there's a mutual connection. You both know what the deal is. You both hang out. You both are close to each other. You both have a lot of chemistry to share with one another. And you both understand and came to the common ground that we're friends. Now, it feels one-sided where you're giving your all into this friend and they go hot and cold. And they may got something that they got going on. Then they pop back up in your life 10 years later. You would question the person. Like, okay, friends is not supposed to do that. But if there's a friend that's known to do that, you have to put your foot down at some point. You have to call them out. I'm going to only bring this up because my wife, she has friends. Her friends she could still keep in contact with for many years, and they just pop back up here and there. And she, you know what she told me? It is what it is. She accepted the relationship. She accepted them for that, and now she is understanding that this person is just somebody that I just text every now and then. They're not really a friend at this point. They're just a friend or a person that you know. And she understands that. She accepted it. The reason why I'm bringing that up is that because my wife also went through this situation. They were one of her best friends. I'm going to be truthful. One of her best friends finally came back around in her life. And they haven't spoken in about 2 to 3 years. I think it was about a year or two. I could be wrong. I think it was about a year to 2 years. Between a year or two. And there was a change in my wife's best friend's behavior. They grew up together. My wife spoke about this friend all the time. And it had hurt her for the fact that this friend was being very selfish. She was having an attitude with my wife. And she just went ghost. And then years later, she came back around. My wife put her foot down and said, hey, I don't appreciate that you just walked out of my life like that. And it made her best friend feel really bad. And she's been friends with this person for a long time. Her friend is now married, and now she's in a situation where she now understands where my wife was coming from. Because there was a time when my wife and I were dating before we got married. Her best friend felt some type of way. You know, there's some girlfriends that are single. They want to be single together. But when they find out that they no longer could have all your required time, they feel some type of way. That's what I mean. Like they're obligated to you. Like they own you. You have to just keep it real with yourself. People are grown. In the end of the day, I'm a grown behind man. Now, the way women handles their female friends, it's different from how men handles their male friends, okay? It's different. Men and women handles their relationships differently from one another. I had a close male friend, and this is the last friend that I ever had in my life. He stopped talking to me because we had a lot of differences. He didn't want to work things out. And the last thing that he told me was that he's going to stay in his own lane. And he just stopped talking to me. He just went silent and cold. I messaged him. I asked him, hey, bro, what's going on? What's up? And I had to take a step back and think about it. Was I the problem or was he the problem? My wife, I even asked her, hey, babe, what's going on? You know, such and such, he stopped talking to me. She was like, well, I did see the signs. You guys were arguing. There was confrontation. And he was going through a state where he was simping. And I'm going to be real. He was simping and falling for a girl. And he was hurt for the fact that there was a girl that he was messing around with. He caught some feelings for her. He said that he admitted that he liked her. And this is why I said many people should not mix sex with love. So that's when my friend went wrong. He went wrong by saying, oh yeah, I'm strong enough, bro. I'm strong enough. I'm just seeing her as a fling. Every human being is subject to catching feelings or having feelings for a person that they are having a close connection with. That's why sex after marriage is a lot better and a lot more established, because you actually are connected. You have chemistry. You have feelings for one another. There's a difference between a person that's unstable and a person that's stable. That's why it is a bad thing and a red flag for a hoe or a prostitute to even sleep around and give their body to each and every man, because now they don't have the ability to pair bond because they're very loose and they're very subjugated to continue living that lifestyle, especially if they have a hoish past. So if they've been doing it for a long period of time, they're going to have a hard time settling down in a relationship. And a lot of people like that would hide their past because they know that they are ashamed, and they know that it is going to cause problems. They know they are not to be trusted because they don't even trust themselves. I'm going to break it down. There was one friend that came around that I was very good friends with during our childhood. This was after my close friend cut me off. I had another close friend. It was a childhood friend this time. He came around to use me for my art because there was a time, I used to draw a lot. I was one of those kids that people would go to, hey Daniel, or hey bro, can you draw this and this for me? Can you draw that for me? Because I'm an artist, I don't draw anymore because, it's not me anymore. I want to get past that because I realized it was causing a lot of problems within my marriage and my past, right? And I wanted to set things aside to focus on my career and focus on my children and my future. So this childhood friend of mine came around years later just to say, hey man, can you draw this and that for me? Because he started off the conversation where he was like, hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. I thought he was genuinely looking out for me, asking me what was up. I felt good. I'm like, man, somebody actually cares. It felt good. It feels good when somebody is looking out for you. Somebody has your best interest at heart. They're genuine. And there's nothing wrong with bros being bros. Like, hey, bro, that's my brother. That's my bro. I thought I had that relationship with him, and he was just coming around because he was going through something and he wanted my advice. He just wanted to reconnect and get together or hang out. Comes to find out that was not the case. He just wanted to break the ice so he could be like, oh, I'm only talking to you and asking you for a favor because I wanted to know if you still draw. So you're only out here to just use me. And there was a time where I fell into a state where it's like, I don't even want to draw for nobody anymore. I feel like I'm being used, and I'm getting tired of people walking all over me. So I told him one day, hey man, no pressure. But I said something like this: no pressure, with all respect, you're gonna have to find somebody else to draw for you and draw your design, your tattoo. It was some logo that he wanted me to do and create for him. I told him that, hey, you're gonna have to take what I did and give it to somebody else. And he basically took it as, oh, I don't care. He didn't ask me what was going on. You want to talk? He was like, oh, okay. Well, hang in there, man. You'll be good. And he went no contact. He just went ghost. And I never heard from him ever again. And this was a childhood friend. We used to hang out a lot together. We used to go out a lot together after school. We would hang out after school. We would go to the arcade. We would hang out at one of the spots when I was in Brooklyn, New York, because we both grew up together. And I understand he got his own life. I got my own life now. But it's hurtful to know for the fact that you're thinking one way. You may think one thing, but the other person may not think the same way you're thinking. So it is going to cause a drift and a confusion. But sometimes it's better to not bring up certain things. There's cases where it's just better for you to sit back and watch people's actions rather than listening and seeing what they say, listening to their words. Actions is going to always speak louder than words. The energy is not there. The chemistry is not there. It's a dead relationship. And if it's a dead relationship, that relationship is not going nowhere. So what do you do from there? Don't waste your time. Don't kiss their behind. Don't ask them, oh, did I do anything to offend you? What did I say wrong? What did I do wrong? Why are you stressing yourself for this person that does not care about you? They're living their best life. Live your best life. This is why I don't believe in no friends. I don't want no friends. I don't need no friends. It is nice to have a friend, and I said it many times. It's nice to have a friend. There's nothing wrong with having a friend. But if God is not going to bring a genuine friend in my life, I don't want scrubs. I don't want garbage. I don't want people who I'm going to waste their time, and I don't want them wasting my time. See, I'm worried about me. My relationship with God, of course, God is first. I'm worried about me after that, so I can worry about my wife and worry about my kids, then my parents, and then my small circle of family after that. It's order. God is like my best friend. He's my creator. He's my to-go-to that I'm going to go to first whenever I'm in trouble, whenever I'm in need, whenever I need advice to figure things out. There's nothing wrong with having alone time to speak to God. Okay? That's my faith. I understand it gets lonely. I understand you may get frustrated. You may get stressed out. But if that same person is stressing you out and they're playing games, why are they around you? Why are they around? If you want to say something, say something. Hey, man, I don't think this is going to work out. And if they're already showing their true colors right there, and they keep doing the hot and cold back and forth, I think it's time for you to cut them off. I think it's time for you to exit your way out, see your way out from the situation, because you're grown and they're grown. We're not children. This is not preschool. This is not high school. You're a grown woman. You're a grown man. Then you got to act like it. Time is money. People don't got the time when they're all about trying to get themselves together and they got better things to do with their time. As we get older, we're going to get older. You don't got time to be out here fooling around with people who got nothing else better to do with their lives. Who are they? And who are you? The one who I'd rather give my most time to is God. But if you're not going to be on the same program, the same page as me, why are you around? Why are you popping back in and out of my life? Why are you stressing me and wasting my time? Why are you wasting your time? They don't got much going on. You got something going on. See your way out. Come back next time when you're serious. And if you're not going to, there's the door. You got the keys, you got the lock. You have the power of who comes back in and enters your life. You have the power. You have the power to answer the phone. You have the power to lock the door and open the door. You have the power and the will to answer the phone and click the phone. You have the power to say the last text or say what you want to say. Just keeping it real. Think about that. Okay? I hope this advice helped you. And I hope it helped any one of you who is going through a situation like this. You don't need friends. We need God. My life and my time is worth a lot more than the next man. Because the next man, if they got a lot going on and they're living their best life, they're not worried about you. You got to think about how the next man is doing. You got to think about what they're doing and then apply that to your life. Because they don't value your time, neither should you. Okay? God first, Think about your mental health. Put yourself first. Put your relationship with God first. And don't think about the next man, because they're not thinking about you. Okay? If they're not thinking about you, it's not genuine. You got to worry about you first and your relationship with God. God first, not your friend. This is Casual Talk here. Peace out. Let me know what you think.